Okay, so there's no doubt that No Jumper's fall, or for better words, decline, has been really sad to see. From rare and somewhat tasteful underground rap content to whatever they're doing now, as well as all the stuff going on with Adam22, specifically. If you're watching this video like me, you probably remember when No Jumper had every single underground rapper on there, not just Lil Pump and Smoke Perp. They had Lil Peep, Doo-Wop Kane, Lil Candy Paint. That's how I found Candy Paint and Doo-Wop. He had almost every rapper from Florida on the show, more mainstream rappers like Yachty and X before they were mainstream. It's pretty wild how gold all that content was at the time. And watching it now, seeing what it's become, is kind of sad because I've been watching his content since I was 12, and I just remember seeing the content being so much more different. And through watching so many interviews, podcasts, and vlogs, I kind of grew to become a fan of not just No Jumper's content and the music of all the musicians they interviewed, but Adam himself. Even before doing the research for the doc, I already knew a pretty good amount about him. I knew his mom was a librarian. That's why he's so well spoken and his vocabulary is as extensive as it is, by the way. His dad went to jail for some white collar crime. His experience in the BMX industry, having a blog, a brand, sponsoring BMX riders, and so much more, like Rope Gang. There's a co-host as well as a man named Robesman, who I still don't know what happened to. I think he runs like a coffee shop or something now. And I've probably listened to every single one of Adam's first couple hundred podcasts, from the middle of 2016 to the beginning of 2018, and even a lot of his vlogs, because his vlogs were pretty cool and entertaining as well. And anyways, obviously, I know a lot of information about him and all these like random facts, or not that random, but stuff that most people won't know, because I've been a consumer of Adam's content since I was 12. And I know that sounds crazy, so let me explain. When I was 12, I got a phone, right before I was in middle school, but everything was locked through parental controls. This is around 2016. Literally all I could do was call, text, and had a couple apps that I could go on, not YouTube or Netflix or any entertainment though. One thing I could go on was Spotify, and listening to music for hours is cool and all, but you'd get bored eventually, and I'd venture over to the podcast section, specifically the rap section. Back then, No Jumper ranked in the top 50, I think, for rap podcasts. Adam was distributing his podcast everywhere, and I randomly just found it. Sometimes my laptop would get taken away, so I'd go on my phone, get bored of listening to music, and I'd listen to the No Jumper podcast. I remember being 12, just laying on my bed, really enjoying them too, musicians aside. Adam and his podcasts were really entertaining. I'm scrolling back on some of them on Spotify, and I lied, they're actually all deleted. You'd have to go to YouTube to find them now. Xavier Wolf, Lil Peep, Scheme of Posse, Black Cray, XXXTentacion, Famous Dex, Trippie Redd, Ass Pizza, Puya, Fat Nick, Ugly God, YB and Namir. Just a few that just came to my head of the popular ones I remember. There's so many more. They had so many artists that were next up, quote unquote, and introduced me to almost all the music I listened to at the time. I remember I listened to really cringe emo stuff and mainstream sad boy music. I don't even want to say the artist names. And my taste in music just completely changed through Adam. I would literally listen to every single one of those podcasts, not just the one I mentioned, but even the ones with random people in them. It's really how I got into underground music on SoundCloud. Before I had even really listened to any, I listened to like one Famous Dex song and maybe one Lil Peep song, I think, before listening to those podcasts. Sometimes I wouldn't care about their music at all, but since I was on Spotify, I would just look them up later on SoundCloud. This was around the time when I found out what producers were and what production was. I had no idea what prod meant, and I was mad confused. I think when I watched the Big Head interview with Lil Tracy, I was like, oh, that's what a producer is. And I'd strictly listen to these guys on SoundCloud too. I didn't have Instagram, so I just watched the interviews or podcasts and checked them out on YouTube strictly. I remember watching the Candy Paint interview and then finding Internet Thug and then getting introduced to Doo-Wop and then finding all his music, which was like a crazy rabbit hole, like so much music. I don't even remember finding Pete, but I think that's how I discovered Lil Tracy and GBC and then became a huge fan. I was really into Florida underground rap at the time too. If you don't remember that period, Florida had the underground on lock. Lil Pump, Smoke Perp, Fat Nick, Puya, Metro Zoo, Ruben Slick, Denzel Curry, not to mention Ski Mask and X. They just exploded with talent. So I'd say as an impressionable young kid, No Jumper really shaped me, not only my personality or anything, trust me, I wasn't trying to be a SoundCloud rapper, but just my views, what I listened to, so my taste in music and my taste in other things outside of music, like clothes-wise, the content I'd watch, etc. That sounds great, right? Rare content, a funny and intelligent host. Well, No Jumper from 2018 to 2020, almost as quickly as it was created, completely changed. At first it was just No Jumper expanding, the content was getting more diverse, more mainstream, and it just made sense views-wise and as a next step for No Jumper. Because you can only really go so far with underground rap, let's be honest. I think Adam hit like 50K, 100K, a million, which was crazy, but there were other things that went towards those views and subscribers. But underground rap eventually just became the bottleneck for his business and No Jumper, so they had to expand, right? And when they did really well. No Jumper had some viral clips. They moved on from just being underground rap to viral internet personalities. Take Boom Gang and Bad Baby, for example. He was just the Cash Me Outside, How About That Girl at the time. But somewhere around 2020, things took a turn for the worse, at least for the older fans. No Jumper began focusing a lot more on adult content. I remember there were these two girls, Selena Powell and some other OnlyFans girl, and there was an episode that was a pivotal moment for No Jumper. I feel like after that point, the focus just shifted on whatever would just get views. A lot of drama content, random interviews, stuff I wasn't really interested in. But at least it made sense for Adam. But most people like me and the other fans of No Jumper just thought it was weird. I'll play a video of Xavier Wolf kind of talking about the situation.
Tried to tell him a few times, like, bro, like kind of just dial it back a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I don't think you're weird. I didn't meet you and think you was weird. So you don't want these motherfuckers thinking you're something you're not. So like kind of just, I know you blowing up and it's fun, but like chill a little bit, bro. Like just chill. He didn't chill.
But that's just one side of the coin. The other more dire part, the reason why people dislike him are the allegations. And there are plenty, but most of them, since we're talking about the internet, are comparatively not horrible. Weird tweets, a weird conversation between him and Matt Ox. But what really made people turn on him was the underage minor involvement allegations stemming from a blog post he made. Yes, he exposed himself in 4K. It was about a girl he met on a message board. According to the blog he wrote, she was 16 when he first spoke to her, supposedly on the phone. They met up a bit later. Adam was in his 20s while he spoke to her, by the way. And I'm gonna be honest, I heard about this, saw it, and kind of just completely ignored it. And it's definitely some weird stuff. Cannot condone that type of behavior at all. As for what happened to him and what will happen to him, absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is 7 years. And I feel like he'll feel the consequences way more with his personal brand and just No Jumper in general. But not to a crazy extent. Has he changed? For sure. Is this still weird and pretty disgusting? Yes. And I don't think he's innocent in this situation. It was bound to catch up to him. Like writing a blog post about admitting your guilt is crazy. But he was young, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he wouldn't do this at this stage of his life and is not a disgusting human being. I also don't know the states that they were in, so it probably lies under one of the weird cases. It may be legal to date a 16-year-old in the state he was in, definitely not hers. I think she's from Canada. But finally, this is a horrible transition, but Adam's story is very interesting, and separating his allegations, his journey is pretty inspiring. There's a clip I'm gonna play of him speaking about his ambition and how he got to where he is now. He speaks about grinding towards YouTube, how much he has to go.
And I work out, and then I spend some time with my wife, and I do all these different things. And like, you can arrange your life like that. But if you are a person that has a fucking goal in mind, like something that you know that you need to accomplish before you're going to be happy with your place in life, fuck a routine. Wake up every day and act like you're a warrior.
And I kind of relate to him, even with how he grew larger, shifting from underground rap to adjacent markets like rap and more mainstream topics, just trending topics, I might do the same in the future. So that's it. Join my Discord, follow me, and see you in a couple days.